Hare Krishna, welcome all of you for our today evening's Valmiki Ramayan class. So usually our class is on Wednesday, but today we are taking it on Thursday because being the auspicious day of Ekadashi, and it's my New Year resolution, 2025 resolution that every Ekadashi there will be Hari Katha, because Ekadashi means doesn't just mean fasting; it means Hari Katha also. So it is very important that on Ekadashi day, four things are very primarily to be done. Chanting the name of the Lord, holy name has to be chanted with devotion. Refrain from grains. In fact, refrain food itself, but as per your health conditions, as per your age, you can eat, but not grains. You can eat some things which are allowed for fasting. And of course, fruits and dry fruits, fruit juices, and all that, it's okay. As regards the third thing, and that is Harikatha. Just chanting is not enough. Kirtan and Harikatha is very important to be done on Ekadashi. So last time we completed up till verse number 8, if I'm not mistaken. Ramani Mataji, I completed till 8, right? 8वां श्लोक तक किया है ना? Okay, so we will start from shloka number 7 again, so that we can complete, get the full flow of it. Then it will be easier for us. The noble minded, there's 1.2.7. Okay, then the second chapter of the BAALKANDA. The noble minded sage Valmiki, having thus said, the obedient sage to the obedient sage Bharadwaj, gave the bark dress to his spiritual master, his guru. So he was, after Narad Muni had described the entire Ramayan, the Sankship Ramayan, to Valmiki Muni, after he asked certain questions to him regarding great personality, after he had left, Valmiki Muni, along with his student, his disciple, Bharadwaj Muni, went to Tamasa river to take bath. So while going to take bath, he was adoring the, the entire weather, the scenic beauty, and how clear the water was. And it was really an enchanting place for him. And he was trying to take some relaxed time over there. At that time, when he is taking the dress from the hands of his Shishya, Bharadwaj Muni, sage Valmiki, who had restrained senses, took the bark cloth from his disciple's hand and strolled around looking at the wild forest. बस ऐसे इसका मजा ले रहे. The holy sage Valmiki, in the vicinity of the river, saw a couple of crouch birds with melodious voice moving around inseparably. In a romantic mood, the two crouch birds were moving around. As sage Valmiki was just watching, suddenly a hunter with a beautiful intent, with a sinful intent and full of cruelty, killed the male bird of the couple. A very beautiful shloka. Tasmat Mithunat Ekam. Out of the Mithunat means romantic couple. So it says Tasmatu Mithunat Ekam Pumsamams Papa Nishchaya, who had already done Papa Nishchaya, means he had decided to do this sinful act. Jagana means killed. Virinleyo Nishad Tasya Pashyataha. He sees. What does he see? And hunter. Nishad means hunter, who's full of cruelty. He kills one of the two crouch birds together, who are having a nice romantic time. Suddenly he shoots and kills the male bird. And seeing that male bird killed when they were in the peak of their romance, sensual pleasure, when the two birds were having sensual pleasures, they were at the peak of their enjoyment. At that time, this Nishad, or this hunter, shot the male bird. When the male bird was shot, the female bird, seeing him drenched in blood, and suddenly, from the peak of the enjoyment, dropped down to nowhere. She was in a big vacuum. It's very, very painful or a very sad moment. But the reason behind why this sad moment happened is also explained in the later on verses. Those constantly united companions, intoxicated with love and enjoying sensual togetherness, suddenly got separated. Seeing her mate, his body drenched in blood, rolling on the ground and killed, the wife cried with piteous words. The wife was really crying, piteous words. Seeing the hunter kill the bird in that manner, the heart of the righteous sage Valmiki was filled with compassion. Karunayam. The word is used as Karunayam. Karuna se unka hriday bhar gaya. Now, one may wonder, how come a sage is supposed to be detached from the material world? How can he have compassion? Is it not a general myth? साधु संत तो दुनिया से परे हैं, पूरा दुनिया से विरक्त हैं, उनको क्या लेना देना? Everyday hunters are killing some animal or the other. Then what's the big deal? Why was he filled with compassion? So please understand, this is the wrong understanding, that the sadhu santa don't have any emotions. In fact, they are so merciful that even they sometimes curse someone, and the cursing is also for their own benefit, for the benefit of the person who has done something wrong. You see, if you see the curse given by Narad Muni to the two brothers or the two sons of Kuvera, this Manigriva and Nalakuvera, these two brothers, they were cursed by Narad Muni to become trees. But that curse only became the source of their liberation. And they realized their mistake. They begged from Narad Muni, what should I do? Don't worry, you will be born as Arjuna trees in Vrindavan, in the courtyard of Krishna's house. What a great blessing it is. Always remember all your, so to say, rishis and sages, they never think bad about you. They only see good about you. And when the sage saw cruel hunter kill the male partner, and the female partner was crying piteously. Hearing the wailing of the female crouch birds, sage Valmiki felt great sympathy for them. Angered by the irreligious act of the hunter, sage Valmiki spoke the following words. A very, very important shloka. You all must know this shloka by heart. Ma nishada pradishtam tvam agatam shashvata samaha. Yat krauncha mitunam cha ekam vadham kama mohitaha. Very, very important. Here, this is supposed to be the first poem ever written in mankind. Yes, the first poem ever written. This is why it is called as, he is called as Adi Kavi, and this is the first Adi Kavya. Now you will say, no, Adi Kavya is Ramayan. Yes, Ramayan is Adi Kavya. But the first verse, which was spoken in perfect grammatical composition, was this verse. Valmiki curses in this verse. Ma nishad. Ma means never, no. Nishad. Tvam agatam. You will pratishtam. Tvam agatam. You will never get peace. You will never get peace. Oh hunter, you will never get peace. And that too for what time? Shashvat samaha. For a long time or for an eternal time. Why? Yet krauncha mithunam cha ekat vadam. Out of the two birds who are in mithuna. Mithuna means sensual pleasure. Ekam, you killed one. Ekam vadam. And who are they? Kama mohita. They were in kama mohita. Kama mohita means in lustful engagement. So sage Valmiki cursed, O ill-fated hunter, for killing one of the crouched birds who are enjoying sensual pleasure. You will never get any recognition or peace for eternal time. Now, there's a little technical things which you got to understand. The act of the hunter was extremely heinous. As it is, killing is prohibited, but over and above, he killed the birds who were enjoying sensual pleasure. The word pratishtam generally refers to recognition. Pratishta means recognition, right? But here it is said for such an heinous act, such which the hunter has committed, he will never get peace and loses recognition for eternal time. He will never get peace and loses recognition for eternal time. This verse is supposed to be the first poem ever written for mankind. Hence, sage Valmiki is known as Adi Kavya, and his entire composition of Ramayana is known as Adi Kavya. Many acharyas say that this verse represents the painful part of Ramayana. One may wonder why was such an incident could happen to a nice sage like Valmiki, and that too when he is with his student Bharadwaj Muni. He says many acharyas say that this verse represents the painful part of Ramayana. Those two birds represent Rama and Sita Mata. Those who were living happily in the forest. But in the form of a hunter, Ravana kidnapped Sita and the couple was separated. So both Rama and Sita were anguishing for each other. Secondly, sage Valmiki was deliberately exposed to such a situation by destiny to prepare him, for he would have to pen down all the compassion in the form of a poem when both Mother Sita and Lord Ram would be separated and will be anguishing during the entire course of the Ramayana. So please understand this is very important. शाश्वत समा के लिए उसने श्राप तो दे दिया. Now next verse you will be wondering, why did I give this shrapa? My job is not to give shrapa. You know, in the whole world so many wrong things are happening. Are the sages keeping on cursing everyone? First and foremost, then of course you'll go ahead and understand this was not a shrapa, it was actually by the will of the devatas he could pronounce this verse. So sage Valmiki spoke in grief and sympathy for those birds. Having said in that moment from his heart, sage Valmiki was pondering why did he speak this? What he has spoken and why did he speak? There are two things. Now, why and what did he speak? मैंने ऐसा कविता बनाया तो भी क्या बनाया? जीवन में पहला कविता बना तो भी क्या बना? A curse becoming a form of a kavita. He was pondering over it. That is why words in the shloka is very important. Thinking again and again. He was thinking again and again why and what is wrong. Why did he intend to give us, what provoked him to give a curse? And that too in the form of a nice, beautiful verse. The curse spoken by Valmiki was in the form of a poem, and he was wondering how he could be, how could he give a curse in such a way? It is said that by the will of Lord Brahma, Goddess Saraswati had sat on his tongue and made him speak this grammatically composed perfect poem. The great sage Valmiki, the best among the sages, was thinking about what he had spoken. Then he made up his mind and spoke these words to his disciples. All his disciples were also wondering why their Guruji is speaking nice, beautiful poem, and that too in the form. That too, what is he speaking? The form of poem, verses. So sage Valmiki said, "Those words which arose from my grief, out of my grief, were perfectly well rhythmed, were a combination of balanced words and well tuned to be sung on instruments, musical instruments. They should be considered as shloka, and not otherwise." So please understand this. You will have to mute. So please understand, here he is telling his shishyas, his students, his disciples, those words which arose out of grief, which were perfectly rhythmed, a perfect combination of well-balanced words and were tuned to be sung on a musical instrument. Please understand this. इतना अच्छा कविता था कि उसको गाने में भी गा सकते. It can be sung also. They should be considered as shlokas and not otherwise. उसको हमको श्लोका मानना चाहिए ना कि कुछ. तो श्राप मत मानो, एक श्लोक ही मानो. That is what he is trying to indicate to the Shishyas. Through his composition, though it was out of grief, the shloka was perfectly systematically balanced and rhythmic. The shloka was in a perfect chandas meter. What he spoke was not to be taken as a curse, but as a perfect verse. Sage Valmiki was telling Bharadwaj to memorize this verse. The disciples happily received what was spoken by Sage Valmiki. The excellent words that came out in the form of verse delighted Sage Valmiki also. So Valmiki was not only wondering, "Arey maine kya shlok bol diya," but he was happy. After bathing at the holy spot, then he, as usual, he took his bath as per the scriptural rules, offering water, oblations, all that process he did. Sage Valmiki then returned to pondering over the relevance of what he has spoken. He was wondering, why did I speak? What was the purpose behind it? He didn't realize the purpose behind speaking that shloka or that verse. Listening to the instructions of his spiritual master Guru, the humble disciples, Sage Bharadwaj, followed him with a pot filled of water. So he was just following his Guru with a pot filled with water. So there are some beautiful messages which we have to take at this point. The Bhagavad Gita 4.34 states that one can receive spiritual knowledge only from a spiritual master after pleasing him and rendering all service to him. Only when pleased with such a disciple will a true Guru, who has fully understood the truth about God, discloses that knowledge to that disciple. So the Bhagavad Gita Lord is clearly mentioning how a person can get or derive knowledge from his Guru. So first we have to please our spiritual master. That's the first condition. Once the spiritual master is pleased, then automatically he discloses the secret about what? Wealth, how to earn more wealth, how to earn more name. No, the secret about achieving, that's the most important. That is why from the behavior of Sage Bharadwaj, one can understand that the practical application of the above verse. It is said that one gets 100% knowledge collectively through the following 4 ways. 25% knowledge by studying the scriptures under a true spiritual teacher. एक गुरु के नीचे पढ़ाई करने से क्या फायदा है? 25% ज्ञान मिलेगा. Only 25, mind you, out of 100, only 25%. Then what about the rest of the 75%? 25% knowledge by the mercy of the spiritual. So now you got 50% knowledge. First 25 is by studying under the spiritual master. Second 25 is by mercy of the spiritual master. Third, you get knowledge with time. Oh, that is what we call as experience. Padha tha, samajh mein aaya. So that's experience. Last, knowledge with experience. So the total 100% knowledge is gained in these parts. Sometimes knowledge you don't get in the very first shot. It takes time for you to get it. And sometimes only through experience some knowledge sits in your mind. So one gets only 25% knowledge by studies, but the complete knowledge of other factors are more important, play an important role. The mercy of the spiritual master plays a very important role. How many of you all know about Sandipani Muni? How many of you all heard about him? Naam suna hai?
जी प्रभु.
He was a spiritual master of whom?
Krishna.
Krishna. So Lord Krishna himself was a student of Sandipani Muni. So what makes who can be more smarter, intelligent, and knowledgeful than God himself? But still God is showing, no, if you are in this material world, you need to follow a spiritual master. So he was under a spiritual master. But more than that, Sandipani Muni was serving his spiritual master in his young age. And his very spiritual master was very old, very old. But he was serving him sincerely. He hardly could have time to gain some knowledge from his spiritual master. So वो कम time था उनके पास track and learn knowledge and study the Vedas and everything. But he sincerely served him. So to so, when he was on his deathbed, his guru blessed him. Guru blessed him that you have served me so well, so nicely, that I bless you. By automatically, all the knowledge of the Vedas will sprout in your heart automatically. आपको सारा वेदों का ज्ञान अपने आप आ जाएगा. उससे भी ऊपर स्वयं भगवान तुम्हारा शिष्य बनेंगे. See the mercy of a spiritual master. So Bharadwaj Muni carrying the pot behind Valmiki Muni, Valmiki Rishi. What does it depict? A student should be always in a respectful and in a service mood to the spiritual master. As much as possible, one should serve a spiritual master to please him. See, there is something called in the material world pleasing in a different way, what we call as buttering. That should not be done. That's where people generally get misguided or carried away. A true spiritual master doesn't require your praises, your buttering, your false endeavors. Two things you should never do. One is false endeavors and false praises. Spiritual master doesn't like it. And who was expert in this? Duryodhana was expert. He called the Durvasa Muni and he told him, no, I am very much focused to you. I really like you. But I always endeavor to follow your instructions. And then he's coolly trying to spoil the life of the Pandavas. There is a Gemini Mahabharata. How many of you have heard about it? Gemini Mahabharata. It's a beautiful story in that. Durvasa Muni was invited by Duryodhana. This is from Mahabharata only, but it's a slight variation from the original story. So he called Durvasa Muni and his 88,000 rishis and fed them sumptuously and very nice Rajasi Rajbhog and all that. And Durvasa Muni was very happy. He said, I'm very pleased. What do you want? Tell me, I'll bless you. Sir, I just want your mercy on our whole family. So I want you to bless my brothers, my cousin brothers, Pandavas. You go there and bless. Okay, no problem. You can bless them. But I want you to do it something unique so that you can put maximum mercy on them. So when Duryodhana said this, somebody said, fine, I don't mind. What do you want to do? He gave them a mango seed of a mango, mango fruit, seed of a child. He told Durvasa Muni, you tell this, give this to Bhima, ask him to hold this in his hand. And within few minutes, that tree should spring up into the seed should spring up into a huge tree with ripened fruits. And with those fruits, I should fill my stomach. I and my shishya should fill my stomach. And then when they will do it, they can do it very easy, not a problem. And when they will do it, आपको क्या करना है? आप उनको खूब आशीर्वाद बरसाना. As planned, Durvasa Muni came. He told Yudhishthira Maharaj, I have come to bless you all. Very happy. Yes, please come. Generally, what we hear in the general Vyas Mahabharata, that immediately everyone was tense because they had already eaten food. Akshay Patra could not produce any more food because Draupadi had eaten, and then he sent them to take bath, and Draupadi called Krishna. Krishna came and the pot. He took one grain of rice, he ate, and his stomach got full. and all those sages got filled. But this Gemini Mahabharata, there is a small variation. They called and he said, see this seed, I want you to hold in your hand and grow it into a full-fledged tree with fruits, laden with fruits, ripened fruits, and we all sages want to eat. They all decided, ye to hone wala nahi. Within 10 minutes, the tree cannot come. Rather, we die. Rather than dying from the wrath of a Brahmana, we die ourselves. It is better. Immediately, Krishna, then Draupadi called, wait. Krishna is there. He will help us. He will help us to find out a way. Immediately called Krishna. And Krishna came. So, yes, Bhima, you can do it. Hold it in your hand. It was very strong and powerful. Put the seed in his hand. And he said, if I have ever feared, then don't sprout. Otherwise, if I have never feared and brave with bravery, I have fought always rightly. Let this seed sprout. Immediately the seed sprouted. Then immediately Dharmaraj said, Yudhishthira Maharaj came and said, if I have never told any lie, let this sprout, become a full-fledged tree. Bhim was strong enough, was holding that seed, and it came out to a full-fledged tree. Then other brothers also came, Arjuna, Nakul, Sahadev. They said, if we have done as per the righteousness, let it bear fruits and the fruits ripen and all. And within a few minutes, the tree was ready, standing, laden with fruits, ripened fruits. And all the sadhus ate the mangoes. All the rishis along with Durvasa Muni ate. They were very happy. Said, oh, great, we enjoyed. Thank you very much. We really loved this fruit. It has filled our stomach to the brim. Now I would like to bless you. So then Bhim said, okay, you want to bless us, really? Then may victory be always in our side. Yes, that will be always in your side, undoubtedly. Ask for one thing more. Something. And Bhim thought of doing a surgical strike on Duryodhana. Immediately he said, oh, I've got a problem. The problem is I eat a lot. मेरे पेट में ना विक्र नाम की अग्नि विक्र, the special fire. No? We all have got fire in our stomach that actually digests the food. तो मेरे स्टमक में ना विक्र नाम की अग्नि है, उसकी वजह से मुझे भूख बहुत है. Every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I eat. At my morning breakfast is about 40 man. 40 man means 1 man is equal to 40 kilos. So 40 into 40. That much amount of breakfast I require, and then that 10 times of that I require as lunch. So it's like, that's not the problem. I get the food. But the problem is I spend a lot of time in the toilet. Because I eat so much, it takes so much time to download. So it's a very bad situation. So you do something by which I can keep on eating. But that Shakuni, he should do toilet for me. He should do toilet for me. तो अगर मैं 2-4 घंटा खाऊं, 2-4 घंटा वो बैठ के टॉयलेट में बैठ के, so somebody said fine. So whenever he would remember, today I want to trouble Shakuni, the main crook, sending us here, is to take around 2 kilos of chilies. Eat the chilies raw. And next day, Shakuni Mama is to bear the pain. Next day morning, Shakuni Mama has to bear the pain. So the point what I'm trying to say is, one should never go crooked with the spiritual master. One should be true to his spiritual master. One should be surrendered to his spiritual master, and one should be always in a power of serving the spiritual master. If one is not in that mood, it becomes very difficult. Progress in spiritual life is only possible when one serves the spiritual master to the best of his capabilities. Now, just for those who are not connected to ISKCON, just for them, those who are connected, they know who are the various types of spiritual masters. But those who are not connected, for them, a brief understanding. First is, I've given the book very clearly, but still, one is the topmost is the Diksha Guru, who gives you initiation, by which he gives you the mala to chant, and he adds you up to the parampara. That's called Diksha Guru. But before you reach to the Diksha Guru, you need to be trained in the spiritual aspect. So you go through a Shiksha Guru. Shiksha Guru is one who trains. Mind you, in all other sampradaya, the Shiksha Guru and the Diksha Guru is generally the same. Most of the sampradaya, both Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru are the same. But at times they may be different, especially in ISKCON, it's very different. So Shiksha Guru gives you the Shiksha, the knowledge. But more than that, there are two more Gurus which are equally more important. Then you have to give your service and your homage to the Pada Prataksha, the one who guides you to the spiritual. Many of us think, oh, no, he just told me there is a classes going online, or there is a classes going on the so and so place, and then I went and joined and bas ho gaya. No, that's not the real understanding. The real understanding is that Pada Prataksha Guru has been very merciful on you. Maybe he might be your friend, he may not be your friend, may have just enrolled you. It's all the various cases possibility. But still, the Pada Prataksha Guru takes you to the Shiksha Guru and make sure that you are in the path of spirituality. But above all, there is a bigger Guru sitting in your heart, and he is called as Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru's power can be felt when you have an inclination to get this knowledge. You can carry someone, pull someone to a spiritual class, to a satsang, a Ramayana or a Bhagavad class. But it is very difficult for one to be pushed further. I'm sorry. It's very difficult for one to be pushed further. The reason is, if the Chaitya Guru from inside gives you that impetus, yes, I should listen to the Pada Prataksha Guru, and I should go ahead with the Diksha Guru and gain the knowledge, and then finally go to the Diksha Guru and take Diksha. This is the process by which a person passes through and finally reaches the point of Diksha. So please understand that though one may call anyone a Guru, जैसे चोर के भी गुरु होते हैं, खाना बनाने वाले के भी गुरु होते हैं. आजकल काफी माताओं का गुरु इस यूट्यूब. खाना बनाना नहीं आता तो you refer to YouTube and you make that dish. So all bottom line said, no, there you don't have any Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, anything, just your YouTube becomes your Guru. But let's understand this. Without a Guru in one's life, nothing is possible, materially as well as spiritually. It's better one surrenders to a Guru and not do whimsical devotion. People generally have got a very dirty or a wrong practice to follow, and that is, आपको गुरु की जरूरत नहीं है, बस I attend any class whichever I get, and I read the book by myself, and that's it. And I don't want a guru. I don't want to be submissive to a guru. That's a wrong approach. All your efforts are going down the drains. You will not achieve your full results. The reason is, unless and until one doesn't have a guru, he cannot learn the secrets of the Shastra. However deeply a book may be written, still the secrets of the Shastra can only be learned from a spiritual master. If people generally come and tell me, no, sir, I read books very nicely, not a problem. I said, fine, great. You read the books, that's great. But if everything was possible by just reading books, teachers would have been jobless, right from the material teacher to the spiritual teachers. Even if you know English, you cannot become a doctor and engineer without having a professor or a teacher to teach you. At all conditions, at all states, one should not concoct his own spiritual process. People concoct their own spiritual process, and that is the most dangerous thing they can have. A bona fide spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual teacher के अंदर रहते हुए under his guidance only one should perform his devotion. And last but not the least, there are many people who say, I'll choose my guru. I'm very choosy. I want to be very particular. I'll choose my guru. I will attend his class. I will attend a couple of classes, and then I will decide who is fit for me. That means you want to be a guru of your guru. You want to be a guru of your guru, because you will certify who is going to be my teacher. This is one of the biggest blunders which people do. In life, yes, you don't decide which child you will give birth to. Whatever child comes from your womb, your wife's womb, they accept as your child. Wherever you have taken birth as the parents, you have accepted them as parents. You did not choose your parents, you did not choose your children. You may say you have chosen a spouse, but generally it's a regret. But on Toto, after scanning, finally, when your brain stops thinking, finally you land up with one life partner. So in life, so many things you don't choose. You may think you're choosing, but it is all because of destiny. You're coming to a spiritual path itself is your destiny. Over and above in that, never try to be smart and crooked. Never try to use your intelligence. Surrender your intelligence. That's the first thing you got to do to win over success. If you want to win or have a success in your devotional life, the first thing is you need to surrender yourself. And surrender means where you accept what destiny gives you rather than you trying to impose or create your own destiny. In fact, in Ramayana, the Ayodhya Kand is a very beautiful understanding given by the same destiny part. Lakshmana fights with Rama. He says, what do you think? Kaikai will just pull you to send you to the forest. I'll fight it out. I know who I am. I have the power to handle everyone. With one arrow, I can kill the whole world. And you don't worry. If anyone comes against you, stops you from getting coronated, I will smash them out. And you become, without any opposition, you become the king. And that time, Ramchandraji tells Lakshmana, this is nearly my destiny. Kaikei, who was my very good well-wisher, as good as my own mother, when she has turned against me, means that is only because of my father giving vow to my wife, to his wife, my mother, to Kaikei, and then she is sending me over here. This was all predestined. It is not destined now. Had it not been predestined, my father would have not given those two vows to Kaikei. So let's understand in life, destiny plays a very important role, and even Lord Ramchandra accepts that can only be destiny. So with prowess, with your own skills, don't try to change destiny. Destiny will change you. So my simple advice is don't try to change destiny. So again, coming back to our verse. So as I explained, there are 4 types of gurus, and all these 4 gurus play a very pivotal or a very important role in your life. जब तक ये गुरु नहीं रहेंगे आपके जीवन में, आपका जीवन का उद्धार नहीं हो सकता. Once one person came and asked me, sir, आप बोल रहे हो गुरु गुरु, किस गुरु को लूं? आधे गुरु तो जेल में हैं. So called branded gurus are very costly. There are some branded gurus. To meet them, you have to shell out a lot of money. So we are very, if you are brand conscious, I have to afford that gurus. So my answer was, yes, true. And that is the reason he said, I don't want to make a guru. And a few of the gurus are cheaters. Most of the gurus are cheaters. Most of the brahmanas today are cheaters. So I don't want to do even shraddha for my parents. So Shastra says, to the best of your ability, get hold of a brahmana and do the shraddha for your parents. Immaterial of how devoted that Brahmana is. Devoted to his work, devoted to his profession. Don't try to find out faults. The reason is we ourselves are full of faults. And if you get a better Brahmana, you can always shift. It's like simple explanation. How many times we have fallen sick by eating outside food? सब लोग बीमार पड़े ना कभी कभी तो पेट में गुड़गुड़ हुआ है कि नहीं कभी बाहर जाके चाट खा लिया पानी पूरी खा लिया पाव भाजी खा लिया किसी ने भी खाना छोड़ दिया वह दुकान छोड़ चेंज करेंगे बट बाहर खाना नहीं छोड़े but that is our dharma, right? Eating outside is our dharma. Similarly, our prime dharma is to follow our spiritual master and to follow the rules of the scriptures. The rules given the scriptures. So how do you follow the rules given the scriptures? Very simple. If you don't find, till you don't find a better worthy Brahmana, follow that Brahmana and get your Shraddha and other ceremonies done by him. There are bad doctors. Everyone knows about it, right? There are money-making doctors. There are doctors who take out a kidney and they sell you. But after this information, have you stopped going to doctors? When you fall sick, you still go to a doctor, right? So when, in spite of knowing that eating outside is bad for the health, injurious to health, we are eating. We are not stopped it. We never stop doing all this. Going to a doctor, in spite of knowing that few doctors are bad, but doesn't mean all doctors. Similarly, Acharyas say, as per your bhava, as per your thought process, you will get a spiritual master. If you have a cheating propensity, आपके अंदर cheating करने का एक भाव है, तो आपको cheating वाला गुरु ही मिलेगा. और आपके अंदर अगर सही भाव है, सही प्राप्ति करना है, then you have to first pray to God for a proper spiritual master. Tell me, when Dhruv Maharaj angrily left his palace, mother said, yes, you should go and worship Vishnu. He never knew that he needs to have a guru also. He left out for the jungle, small kid, going towards the jungle, pray to God. And that too for what? A materialistic purpose. He wanted a kingdom bigger than his grandfather, Brahmaji's. So he wanted his own creation. So he started out. And the minute he ventured out, Lord saw, oh, he is on the path of searching me. Immediately he told Narada Muni, please go and guide the child. Similarly, when you have a sincere desire to achieve God, or at least go near God, God makes the necessary arrangements. All the arrangements are made and things fall in place automatically. First, your desire to achieve God should be sincere. The minute your desire to achieve God is sincere, everything falls in place. Like Narad Muni came in front of Dhruv Maharaj. First and foremost, he told him, hey, सब जीवन में थोड़ा insult तो चलते रहते. Go back. Go home. Go home. Spit out your anger and go home and relax. When you become big enough, you come here. Then you can search for God. Immediately he said, no, I have come with a resolute determination that I am going to achieve God. And then Narad Muni gave him his advice. How he should make a deity of the Lord, how he should take bath, and how he should do all, strict vows he should follow. What does this actually mean to us? Even a spiritual master at times will test you. How good and how resolute you are in your purpose or in your decision to achieve God. If your path is resolute, your path is determined, then immediately the spiritual master guides you with the upper level of whatever level you are, he will put you in a upper. So this is the main understanding we all should have about a spiritual. If one doesn't have these understandings, or rather doesn't even plan to surrender and take the shelter of a spiritual master, all his efforts, I don't say the word waste, but definitely will not fructify to the level it should. If it is supposed to fructify to 100%, it will fructify only to 70%. The rest 30% stays reserved because Lord doesn't accept anyone directly. He accepts only through a spiritual master. Without a spiritual master, one cannot achieve God directly. You can't bypass, without a teacher, without a textbook, one cannot pass any exams. It's like that. Okay, with this, I would like to close today's session because then we are going to go into the next page of the chapter. So we'll continue next week.